What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Spiritual Trip back for another video. Before I get into tonight's topic, I just want to give a shout out to all my subscribers, as I always do. We have 16 subscribers now, and that means a lot to me, man. Y'all watching me build this from zero to we on the road to 100 subscribers, man. That's what we on right now. We on this. I'm gonna start small, go big. But with that being said, I just want to get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is the power of unlearning and relearning. And what I mean by that is, so like I talked about in my last couple of videos, or maybe some of my early videos, I was raised Muslim. I was born Muslim. I got a Muslim name, Muslim last name, all of that. My parents are Muslim, brothers, all of that, sister, all of that. So growing up, I was taught, like, I don't eat pork. I used to pray 5 times a day, used to go to the mosque. I used to do all of this stuff, right? So as I got older, as time went on, as time moved forward, and I started developing a mind for myself, like, I eventually started having questions for myself, like, even just with religion alone. And this is why I left religion alone after a certain amount of time, because once I was old enough to start questioning stuff, now to backtrack, when I was younger, I really didn't question nothing. I pretty much just went along with what my parents taught me. Mind you, my parents are amazing people. I love my parents, but there was a lot of stuff that they taught me that, as I got older and as time went on, I started questioning certain stuff. Like, so the first time I really started questioning stuff was the first time I went to jail. So when I first got locked up, it was 2 days after I graduated from high school. So I was about 18 years old. My first son wasn't even born yet. And once I got locked up for that first time, I ended up I went to jail, whatever, got bailed out. And, but long story short, I never had to do no jail time for that. Like, they ended up putting me on 3 years of probation, right? So during that time, that was the first time me going to jail and stuff. And I was praying. I was still Muslim at the point in time. Like, so I was still praying. I was still praying that I don't do no real jail time. Now I'm young. I'm 18. I'm scared. I'm like, damn, I ain't never been. This is my first time in handcuffs before. You feel me? And it was a gun charge on top of that. So I'm locked up for the first time ever at 18 years old for a gun charge. So I'm praying. I'm praying to Allah, like, yo, I hope you look out for me. Like, I know I stopped praying as much as I used to, but like this time I'm praying again, like, yo, if you really real, like, look out for me or whatever, you feel me? So long story short, they ended up giving me 3 years of probation. Fast forward like 7 months later, I ended up getting arrested again for my first DWI. So this time I'm like, damn, like, I fucked up again. So knowing who, or me just being myself, I'm like, I'm not even gonna waste God time this time. Like, I just prayed last time and I got fucked over. Like, I fucked myself over. I ain't blaming nobody but myself. So I prayed before for my first situation, and in my mind, I got off the easy way. I was able to use my YO, so they gave me three years of probation, right? So fast forward, get my my first DWI, and this time I go to jail, whatever. And I'm like, damn, my probation officer about to fuck me over. I know I'm about to damn near have to do some real time or whatever. So this 7 months after, right? So 7 months after I get my second DWI, or my 7 months after I get my first DWI, and I end up, long story short, they end up giving me, instead of 3 years of probation, they gave me 1 year of drug court. So all I had to do was complete drug court. I had to not drink or not use I couldn't smoke weed. I couldn't drink for like 6 months. And if I completed it, then I would have been good. But me being myself, so in my mind, I'm like, damn, I didn't pray this time. And it seemed like I kind of got off better than the first time. Like, I went from having to do 3 years of probation to only 1 year, really only 6 months of drug court. I think I just had to be in the program for a year or whatever. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, and I didn't pray. So at that moment, I'm like, okay, so if I got good like that and I didn't pray for it, then I'm starting to like question stuff. So this is just how I first started questioning stuff. So I started questioning stuff, and as time going on, I'm like, damn, so I didn't pray. So I'm like, damn, is God even listening to prayers? Is he even real? So I started diving more into religion, to start diving more into asking, like they say don't question God. So I'm starting to ask, why do they say not to question God? Why? So I'm just developing all these questions shortly after this. So after this is how I developed the mindset that I have now, because it was like I never prayed for none of this, and my life was still, I started realizing that I didn't need to pray. I just had to make better choices. And in so many words, what I learned from all of this in so many words was I never needed to pray. I just needed to make better choices. Now, I'm not an atheist. I just don't believe in the mainstream God that they teach us about. I don't believe in the Christian shit. I don't believe in the Muslim shit. I'm not, to each his own. I'm not knocking nobody that is. So if any of my subscribers is Muslim, Christian, that's what, if that's helping your life, that's good for you. Like, I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not trying to turn anybody against what they believe in. That's your personal beliefs. I'm just telling my story. You feel me? So my story went a little bit like that. So from that point on, I started questioning everything. It wasn't just religion, it was just everything. I started questioning it, like just developing my own thoughts. Like, okay, so if my parents taught me this my whole life, I'm starting to wonder what else did they teach me or didn't teach me. So I started doing my own research. I started coming across like Professor Griff. For those who don't know, he was like one of my first mentors. Like, I don't know him personally, but I started watching his videos on YouTube, and go look him up. Professor Griff. He was part of Public Enemy #1, and he started teaching me about subliminal messages and teaching me about like the celebrities, how all these celebrities is wicked. Started teaching me about like red, black, and white. Like, pay attention to how these celebrities always wearing red, black, and white. And he taught me that mean blood on a checkered floor, and that's some ritual these elite people do or whatever. So my whole mind just started expanding. Like, it went from something like this to something big. So I started developing my own thoughts and everything. Like, damn, like not only was they teaching me stuff, but I did my own research, and I started really just paying attention to the stuff I was learning. It wasn't like, you can't just tell me stuff without me going to do my own research and looking into it or whatever. So I'm doing my own research. I'm looking at all, and everything that I'm researching is coming back like true. So I went from watching Professor Griff, and then I started learning more about relationships. I was in a 14-year relationship with the mother of my kids, and my parents been married for 30 years. So I'm like, my parents always wanted me and my baby mom to work out, and in so many words, it wasn't working out. Like, things just wasn't, she wasn't raised how I was raised, basically. And there's no knock to her. It's just we was raised two totally different ways. So I seen a type of love, and she seen with a type of love, and it was just different. Like, we weren't connecting, but we ended up having kids, and this, that, and the third. It's still all love on my end, but at the end of the day, just it is what it is. So after all of this, I started doing my own I'm looking to go look up Till Swan. Till Swan taught me how to be my authentic self. Till Swan taught me how to, like, just a lot of different stuff. I started watching Brother Polite. Y'all can feel how y'all want about Brother Polite, but that brother is a smart ass dude, and he taught me a lot of stuff. So if y'all don't know who he is, go look him up. He locked up right now, but he was one of my third. That's probably like the third person I really started watching on YouTube. So I'm watching all of this stuff, and he breaking down religion, and all the thoughts I was having back then. He's starting to say it. Like, he's saying everything that I was thinking. It wasn't like he was influencing my thoughts. I The stuff I was thinking, he was already on it. He was already on the YouTube. I didn't know about starting a YouTube channel, all of that, but he was already on it. So I started following him, started looking into his messages and what he was saying, and everything started coming full cycle. So the name of this video is the importance of unlearning and relearning, and I'm telling you my story. So if you're following, I go through this phase like this. So I'm 18 when all of this, 18, 19, 20, I'm in and out of jail. I'm going through all these different experiences and stuff. But out of all of it, I learned that everybody has to come to a point in their life where when they find their own identity. When I separated from religion, I felt like a big relief off my back, because I believe that a lot of, like, what it was for me was the heaven and hell thing. It was like they got, and not only the heaven and hell, it was like the beef in religions. Like, there's Muslims that there's like so many different they got like the I don't. There's so many different Muslims that, and half of the motherfuckers don't even like each other. So I'm like, how y'all all worship the same God, but y'all got beef with each other? Like, it don't make no damn sense. Even in the Christian family, it's mad different. It's mad different fucking like types of Christianity, but there's so much beef in it. So I'm just asking myself, like, so this how they threw us for the loop de loop. So I had to start developing my own thoughts and my own beliefs and my own self for me, not for nobody else. It was all for me. Like, yeah, because a lot of the shit wasn't making sense. So I'm like, I'm not about to keep following some shit that don't make sense. So I went for a whole period, a whole while, clashing with folks, like clashing and saying fuck God, this, that, and the third. And no, like I said, no disrespect. This just how I was feeling back then. Like, it's too much shit. Like, so I'm like, I just cut off. I just said, fuck all of that. I believe in myself. Like, I believe in what I call the higher source, like the source of life. I don't call him God. I don't know if it's a he, she. That's just what I believe. You can believe what you want to believe, but I'm just telling you my story, like I said. So I had to go through an unlearning phase. Like, I had, and that was the most uncomfortablest phase that I ever went through in my life. Like, I fell out with my parents for a minute because they couldn't understand why I wasn't Muslim no more. I fell out with friends because I was saying fuck God, and they like, damn nigga, how you gonna say fuck God, this, that, and the third, when, you feel me, your parents Muslim and they believe in God. Like, how can you say all this stuff? And this how I developed who I am today. Like, I ain't never gave a fuck what nobody gotta say, for real, for real. Like, I say fuck God and I stand on that. I say fuck you and I stand on that. So that's just who I am, though. It's like nobody made me this way but myself. But that was all from unlearning the shit that I was taught. And it's not just about religion. It's about love. It's about everything. Finances, really money too as well. Like, nobody in my family is rich. So I had to unlearn the fact that, damn, just because nobody in my family rich don't mean I can't be rich. So yeah, you got to go through a unlearning phase and a relearning phase. Like, you have to unwire everything you was taught, and this starts like once you graduate high school, because even with high school you got to unlearn a lot of shit that they taught. A lot of them taught you to go to school, fucking go to college, get a job, white picket fence, the American dream, you feel me? That's what school taught. So I had to unlearn that shit too. I had to unlearn all this stuff, started developing my own mind, my own way of thinking. And this is how you become yourself. This is how you develop your own identity. A lot of people are so lost because they still carrying on the identity of their parents, carrying on the identity of friends and family that raised them, and they stuck, they lost. They don't know where to start. They don't know where to turn because they never unwired any. They never questioned nothing. They just went along with it. Me, I had to once I started. I don't know what sparked it for me, but I think what really sparked it though, and this is why I do give my parents credit and why I don't not being raised Muslim, is because I never celebrated holidays. So in third grade, I could remember telling the kids, like, I never understood why they celebrated Christmas. And they used to, and my dad told me, like, son, do you think that a big fat white man is going down each kid chimney and delivering gifts? Like, when have you ever seen a reindeer fly? Now, I'm in third grade asking myself these questions. I'm in third grade telling the kids, like, yo, Santa ain't real. So from third grade is really went, so, and that's why I give a shout out to my parents for raising me Muslim, because I take that as well, because I never celebrated any holidays, and I looked at it like, yo, the masses of people believe this shit. So if they was lying about this, I think so. I take that back. Like, a lot of I started forming my own identity back then. Like, I started asking questions in third grade. Like, I started asking myself, like, okay, well, if they lied about this, what the fuck else is they lying about? So that's how I became like a conspiracy theorist, and I stopped believing in all of that shit too. Even though I know what the fuck going on in the world, that shit wasn't benefiting me none. So I had to let that shit go too. That shit wasn't putting no money in my pocket unless I start a YouTube video, start talking about that shit. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, just to tell y'all, like, you gotta go through a phase of that. You gotta go through and that's why you gotta go through that dark ass storm. Like, and that shit is so uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying. I guess that's the moral of the video. Like, when you going through this unlearning and relearning phase, it's uncomfortable. It's not fun. You lose friends, you lose family, you fall out with your love, you're like your loved ones. Like I'm falling out with everybody around this point in my life, and I'm trying to, because all the stuff I'm learning, I'm trying to teach people and I'm trying to tell people, and that's why I had to learn. Like, yo, my man's taught me it's best to shut the fuck up, and I'm like, damn, you right about that, because there's a lot of shit I'm trying to tell people and they not receiving it, but I'm wasting all this energy trying to get people to understand what I'm trying to say, and they just not understanding it. So fast forward now, I'm on Facebook posting my thoughts, still who I am, and I end up meeting a lot of people that think like myself, and they was raised totally different. Some of them was raised Jehovah Witness, some of them was raised like in mad different religions, but they all went through that unlearning, relearning phase, and we all end up clicking up, and still to this day we great friends. I got good friends. Shout out my boy Jay Exodus, my boy Jay, my boy Tommy X7, all y'all. Like, I sit and have my boy Kente, Free Kente, but I sit and I have conversations with mad people that's on the same frequency and same level of thinking, and they all was raised different because they all took the time or they experienced something in their life that made them unlearn the shit that they would. Like, I'm talking about, these people fell out with their mom and dad too, like, and they, it's all love, like, but it was a period where you go through an unlearning and relearning, and people not gonna understand you, people not gonna get why you thinking how you thinking, because they never went through an unlearning and relearning phase. Like, they never took time to reflect and ask themselves questions. Some of them just comfortable. A lot of people comfortable with where they at, and they know once they start asking questions, that shit gonna shatter their whole reality. So some people would rather just stay in their own reality because it's comfortable. I was like, fuck that. I can't. Nah, I'm questioning everything. Like, I don't believe shit nobody gotta say. If I gotta believe it, I gotta see the shit firsthand. You feel me? So that's how I developed the way I think. That's why I'm started this YouTube channel to because I know it's mad. It's a lot of other people out here that's either going through it, that haven't been through it yet, but or trying to understand. I got nieces and nephews that's trying to understand, and I got family, and I know you probably do too. It's an uncomfortable unlearning phase, and but I'm telling you, on the once you get through it, and some people can't even unlearn because they know it'll jeopardize their living situations. Like, some people, some of my viewers might be 18, 19 years old, still living with their parents, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But you know that if you go through it, you start challenging your thoughts, then you got the risk of being kicked out your living conditions. So it takes some longer than others. You just gotta start, like you gotta start it though. You gotta start questioning shit. Like, if you can't talk to nobody about it, just start writing it down. Record yourself video. Ask yourself questions. Like, it's all part of this journey. It's all part of the spiritual trip. Like, we all on a spiritual trip right now. We on the like, life is an ongoing journey to get to know yourself. Shout out Love Dorsey for that. But that's all life is. It's an ongoing journey until you die. Your whole life, you just getting to know who you are. So when you die, that's who you're going to be remembered for. That's why Dr. King and Malcolm X and everybody else, they did what they did, and they died, and that's what people know them for. So when I die, people going to know me for this, for Schumer, spiritual trip, all of this. When you die, what are people going to know you for? Is it going to be what you was taught and you just stayed the same your whole life, or are you going to make your own path and pave your own way? Like, but yeah, the moral of this video is just to say, like, you have to go through an unlearning and relearning phase to get to the next level. Until you could unlearn the shit you was taught, a lot of y'all was taught bullshit about y'all parents. A lot of, or was raised in a single household and was told lies about your other parent, but you never took the time to go ask them or go talk to them. So you have to go through this, and it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be comfortable, but you have to go through it if you want to grow. You got to go through it to grow through it. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I might have to make a part 2 to this video because I could go deep about this subject, but this is like very important to me. Like, if you want to grow, you want to expand who you are, you have to unlearn the shit you was taught. You got to start reprogramming your mind with your own thoughts. Just, that's all it is, like with your own thoughts. If you want to go through an unlearning phase and you find that the stuff that you was taught growing up still makes sense to you, then it's okay. Download it back down, but you got to wipe your computer clean and start re-downloading shit. You got to delete all them viruses off your computer, your mental computer, and you got to start re-downloading the good shit, the good programs, the good softwares in order for you to grow as a person. It's your boy Spiritual Trip. I'm out. I love y'all.